Hello, everyone, and welcome to another, I guess you can say, Ter Stegen session. This is my second one, I think, of the year of the season, and he's barely even played. Ter Stegen has been out all season with an ACL injury. He's barely even played, and this is my second video this season about him. Now, I'm gonna try to be pretty fair this video, but we have to look at the reality of it. And let's just start with the game over the weekend with Villarreal. Ter Stegen had his second start since coming back from injury. He also started against Valladolid. Um, I didn't make a review on this video because, to be honest, league's over. Yes, Barca lost. I guess it was a win-win. Barca celebrated their trophy, and Villarreal celebrated making the Champions League. I think it was, or just a European spot. Yeah, it was. It was the UCL. So Barca lost, but to me, it's not about the loss. It's about Ter Stegen. And we take a look at the face of it. Of course, on a rating, why Ter Stegen was the lowest rated player. But when you take a deep dive into it, Ter Stegen against Villarreal had, well, firstly, actually against Valladolid when he started that game, his first start since coming back from injury, he conceded a goal in the first 2 to 3 minutes of the game against the worst team in the league. Not just the worst team in the league, they out and out, the by far worst team in the league. Conceded a goal. Yes, there was a deflection, but in that action, he made it look like he wasn't even trying. Like this, like the ball went into a position where it was completely unsavable. And this is actually the case with Ter Stegen in general. Against Villarreal, 6.2 rating, negative 1.71 goals prevented. That means that's basically means that he had a horrible performance essentially because there's so much XG there that he didn't prevent. That, I mean, what are you doing? You go down to the stats of the game. Villarreal had a total of 7 shots. 3 of them were on target, and Villarreal scored 3 goals. So, I mean, there's got to be something that got saved. Like, I guess Ter Stegen's been being saved by balls being off target. Because if they're on target, there's a 90+% chance it goes in the net if Ter Stegen's in the net. And I just don't understand that. I mean, it's not just about the conceding rate. Yes, you can say, of course, oh, devil's advocate. Like I said, I'll be fair. He's been injured this season. Okay. And he's getting older. He's been injured. All that stuff. But it's just this has been the case with him for such a long time that it doesn't even make sense to me anymore. And it wasn't even just about post injury. You talk about pre-injury up until the second leg away against Dortmund. The only game that Barca lost in the UCL this season was the Monaco away game, which was the first game of the UCL season, I think, for Barcelona. Monaco away, Barca got a red card early. That was mostly Ter Stegen's fault, of course, and then they just lost that game. Since then, he got injured, and Barca won every UCL game there was to play. And I just don't understand how he just fails in all the big matches. First of all, let's look at this game. Yes, fair enough. Some of these Villarreal goals, maybe they're unsavable, but the way he makes it look is as if there is no chance, as if he is not trying. And I don't understand how it's such a difficult thing for him to have some presence in the box in front of the net and maybe actually save something. I was going to show some clips of Victor Valdez, but the account that posted them got suspended on Twitter. Victor Valdez, I'll explain the clips real quick. Victor Valdez, on one-on-one situations, had no fear. He imposed himself. He was the main man of the duel, whether it was an attacker or the goalkeeper. Between those two players, Victor Valdez always made himself the bigger man, the more intimidating player, and he saved so many 1v1 chances, it would blow your mind. And you look at Ter Stegen in these situations, I mean, 3 shots on target, 3 goals. Okay, he goes low here, the ball goes past him, fair enough. This one over here, I mean, fair enough, eyes are shut, but he's not even extending his arms all the way. He looks small. It's easy to finish past someone like this. In the third goal, I mean, what's he doing? Like, how do you lose your... He almost tore his ACL again here against the same team as he did earlier this season. The same team against Villarreal, he tore his ACL in October. He almost did it again here because he just simply had no balance, and I guess he was intimidated by the attacker about to take a shot. And you talk about his, like I said, his body position. He never looks, confident. He never looks like he knows what his plan is going to be when he's going to face a shot. He just doesn't know, he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. And okay, we talked about it for Monaco earlier in the season. You think about it in the older La Liga games, the older UCL games. Ter Stegen in 14-15, his first season here, where he had a rotational role with Bravo. Bravo took care of the league. Ter Stegen took care of the cup matches, or at least the UCL, I think it was. Ter Stegen actually had some presence about him back then. You think about that save against Bayern, the Lewandowski shot, where he made a save and went through a little bit, and he got the ball. He got back in time to get the ball off the line. He had a bit of presence back then. He was a bit better. He was a bit more spry, and there was nothing wrong with him. As the years got on, as he had more of a more singular role as a main goalkeeper for all competitions in Barcelona, he just became worse and worse. You talk about the UCL every year essentially since Barcelona in 2015, starting in 2016. Every year in the UCL knockout stage, Ter Stegen has never once impressed. Just think about what Donnarumma has been doing for PSG. Think about what Sommer has been doing for Inter, especially against Barcelona. Think about Courtois, what he's done for Real Madrid, not just this season, but when they won the UCLs recently. Think about Keylor Navas at Real Madrid back in the day. Think about Emi Martinez for Argentina and how they won those trophies. Think about Neuer for Bayern and Germany. There is no coincidence here. If you want to win a big tournament, a big trophy, or at the very least compete for it, you need to have a goalkeeper that in the biggest of games imposes himself and gets his team out of tough, high-pressure situations. And Ter Stegen, especially in the UCL, has never done that. It's the same reason why he's never been a starter for Germany up until now when Neuer has retired. And there's no two ways about it. He just simply fails when there's high pressure in high intensity games, and he does not know how to impose himself, whether it's in general in a game or especially not in 1v1 situations. And I'm not sure how this has been allowed to go on for so long. I'm not sure how he still even has the role that he has in the club. I think personally it's because of he's hacked the politics of being in Spain, and he's tapped into the emotions of the Catalan fans. But it's only up until recently where there actually is, some discussion going on. The fans in Barcelona are starting to feel doubts about Ter Stegen. And finally, for once after 10 years, finally, there's Barca looking into the goalkeeper market, not because of an injury, like Ter Stegen got injured and they looked into Chesney, is because they want to actually improve. They want to compete for the UCL. Now, I'm not saying Chesney's at fault for the UCL loss to Inter. I'm talking about Ter Stegen here in general across the last 10 seasons, 15 seasons, whatever he's been playing at Barcelona for. Barca finally are looking at a goalkeeper. Now, in La Liga, as we can see here, saves per match, Joan Garcia, he has been exceptional for Espanyol, who are 17th right now. And we take a look at, how he's performed. Espanyol, like I said, are 17th. They have 51 goals conceded, but he has the most saves per match in La Liga with 3.8, while playing for a team that is playing poorly. I mean, saves per match, I'm not sure if, I think there's like goals. Yeah, he has the highest goals prevented. Almost 7 goals prevented this season from him. And then, of course, clean sheets. Probably doesn't have too many because Espanyol just not the level. He has 7. He's 13th for that. And yeah, he's a great option. Of course, you go outside La Liga, you have Chevalier from Los Lille. If you want a more expensive option, you could go for Kobel from Dortmund. There are very good options in Serie A with Villar from Roma. You've got Carnesci at Atalanta. There are some very good options, and these are goalkeepers that have recently shown that they are imposing humans, not just players, not just goalkeepers. They're imposing humans, and they know how to deal with, at the very least, sometimes tense situations. And they know how to deal with pressure. They know how to deal with attackers coming in on them one-on-one. Ter Stegen has simply not proven that. And like I said here, Achraf Ben Ayad, a very reliable journalist when it comes to Barcelona. Like I said, him and Javi Torres have reported that Barca looking into the goalkeeper market. It's about time. It's about time. Hopefully, it's to actually replace Ter Stegen and not Chesney, assuming Chesney either leaves or stays. And look, the thing with Ter Stegen is that it's become a very, very split. There's a big dichotomy when it comes to the fan base of Barcelona on him. Listen, at this point, it's 2025. At this point, it's 2025. If you're still in the Ter Stegen fan camp, I mean, you've got to figure it out. You have got to figure it out because this goalkeeper has not shown that he deserves any form of support when it comes to debates about whether he is at the level for Barcelona in the UCL or not. He has not warranted it, and in general, he's just been regressing. I mean, think about Atletico Madrid 2016 UCL knockout for Barcelona. They lost that tie. Ter Stegen, I don't remember him doing anything special. Same thing against Juventus in 2017. Same thing against Roma in 2018. Same thing against Liverpool in 2019. Same thing against Bayern in 2020. Same thing in against PSG 2022, 2021. Europa League in 2022 and 2023. And then last season against PSG. And this season he just hasn't played. So it's almost 10 seasons now of Ter Stegen in Europe where he just hasn't imposed himself. I don't recall one memorable performance from him. This season, Barca signed Chesney, and already he had an insane game against Benfica away when Barca had a red card early on, and that is what Barca kept. That's what kept Barca in that game. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Like I'm not somebody that consistently hates on him. Like I said, the dichotomy of the fans on Twitter, especially. You have the people that, of course, for some of the laughs and some of the trolling and stuff, but in general, you have a large population of Barca fans that actually hate on Ter Stegen. Okay, I don't like to get into that too much because at the end of the day, he is a human. At the end of the day, he's a human. He's a goalkeeper. Maybe he does want to have a great great performances and stuff, but he just can't. At the end of the day, he's a human, and that's just the level he is at. So I don't like to hate on him too much. But the reality is that he just simply is not at the level. And if you're supporting him currently, I just don't know like what planet you're on. What planet are you on if you think he's still at the level for Barcelona, if you want Barca to win a Champions League anytime soon? Because he's not. And that's basically what I have to say today. I mean, Barca need to find a new young long-term goalkeeper who is just an imposing figure at the back, a leading figure at the back. And like I said, hopefully they figure it out because it's time Barca, you know, take winning a UCL very, very seriously, and that simply cannot be done without a strong goalkeeper. But yeah, season's basically over. Let me know what you guys think. There's gonna be a lot of talk about transfers now, like I said today with the goalkeeper stuff. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video.